Ahava, blessings. Welcome to this episode of Embodying the Shekinah. This podcast is here to support us, to guide us during these times of accelerating energy in order to remember, integrate, and embody our soul essence. I am your host. My name is Aurea. I am an ordained Magdalene priestess, Reiki master, energy and sound alchemist, energy healer and sound alchemist. And this is the episode where we're going to talk about the new lunar cycle that we're going into starting on June 14th with the new moon. The new moon is happening at 24 degrees of Gemini, but this is marking the new lunar cycle of Cancer-Tammuz. And Cancer season is a very, very special season. It is one of the hardest months in terms of the Aramaic spirituality, the mystical spirituality of Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. This lunar cycle is one of the three that is the toughest three. So you guys can see as well, since I'm doing this a little bit differently. I usually just record my voice, but I decided we're going to try something new and see if I like how it works. We're going to do the video format of this podcast episode. So as I said, this is one of the toughest lunar cycles, and the reason for this is that it is one of the lunar cycles where the most amount of light from the Creator is flooding and pouring into the earth. And that means we have no filter. The zodiac astrological symbols, they are filters. They are lenses through which the light of creation pours into the world. And different people hold different frequencies. And if you hold a Cancer frequency, this lunar cycle is particularly important for you. Now, we all hold all of them. However, if our sun, our ascendant, our moon is in Cancer, that energy is far more prevalent than if you are, say, a moon in, sun in Aquarius. And so this cycle is one of the three toughest because there's like no filter between the pure light, and if your body cannot hold that energy, it's going to be a tough cycle. And Cancer is the divine feminine. Cancer is the mother, the womb, the moon, which rules Cancer. And it is a cycle where everything connected to family, the home, the lineage, to your body, to your soul incarnated in your body is going to be activated. It is said in the Aramaic technology, in the Aramaic spirituality, that all souls that come to incarnate on earth, they come through the zodiac sign of Cancer. Cancer being the great mother. And it's interesting because as I was feeling into this moon, I was wondering, okay, it's happening at 24 degrees. What are the frequencies associated with the 24, which is the 6? And I was feeling a lot of purity. So I'm looking at the chart, and this is a moon. Every other moon before, I think for this entire year, the sun and the moon conjunct, which make a new moon, has been affected by a trine or an opposition or something. There has been something going on. This is the first lunar cycle of this year, and I haven't looked at all of them, where there is no opposition, there is no trine, there is no sextile, there's nothing. It is just the sun and the moon coming together in the sign of Gemini, marking a new lunar cycle. Gemini, if you did not catch my previous episode where I talk about the cycle of Gemini, Sivan, which we're closing and entering into a new one, Gemini is divine union. So we are going into this Cancer lunar portal with the frequency of divine union. And this is really important for Cancer because Cancer has a tendency to not know quite what to do with this earth firmament, because Cancer is so open, so intuitive, so empathic, so connected to the higher realms that they often have a hard time understanding that the physical world is finite and reconciling that with the fact that their soul, all of our souls, are infinite creation. So there's a lot of, this is where Cancer's clinginess, Cancer's moodiness, Cancer's inability to let go of the past, Cancer being like the elephant that does not forget a single thing, this is where that comes in, because Cancer doesn't, like, if Cancer loves, Cancer doesn't know how to let go. Cancer has no boundary in terms of how much they will love, because Cancer is the divine mother. So it's all protection, nurturing, nourishment. It is the womb. It is the heart energy. It is the energy of creation. It is the energy of new beginnings, of closing of cycles. So the number that we're working with, the numerical frequency for this moon, is the 6. The 6 is associated with the heart chakra. It is about cosmic beauty. It is harmony. Don't want to forget anything, so I have my notes. It is the heart chakra, but also the high heart chakra, which is the higher octave of the heart chakra. And the heart chakra is what supports and sustains everything. And the Hathor chakra is that pure love, unconditional, purest essence of love. And it is all about our family, healing, lineage, healing the family, healing the lineage, your roots. It is all about the womb and creation energy. So there is a healing that is happening with the womb and the creation energy. It's also connected to the arc line, and the arc line is that, so in all of like the pictures of holy people, you always notice how they all have a halo around, a golden halo around. That's your arc line. It's also would be, so you have the crown chakra. It would also be the soul star chakra. So this chakra becomes activated, the chakra that is over your head, and that is called the arc line. And we have 4 major arc lines. There's the one over the head. There's the one over the heart, which is the arc line of the Madonna, the one over the womb space or your hara, and the one under your feet. The arc line, the top arc line, this arc line is the one that is connected to your mission, to your destiny. And in the Aramaic creation spirituality, your zodiac sign, your astrology, it's not about this is what it is and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's not a Western type of mentality that is fatalistic, and it's all about, well, you know, I'm a Cancer, so of course that I am moody and emotionally unstable, and I feel everything and everyone, therefore I don't know what my own feelings are. It's not, and that's the way it is, and there's nothing that can be done about it. It's not that way. Your natal chart, your astrology, the astrology that is happening right now in this moment, all of it are frequencies that we're here to learn how to work with, so we can learn how to transcend them. You have to understand how something works and how it works through you in order for you to evolve, to transform, to change, to shift timelines, whatever you want to call it. In order for your soul to evolve and to grow, you need to be able to understand how to work within the confines of this physical reality. You cannot transcend duality by spiritually bypassing and emotionally bypassing all of your issues and just saying, oh, everything is love and light. I don't want to watch anything low vibrational. It's just not possible, because we live and incarnated into this physical world, and we live and incarnate here for a reason. Our soul had a plan, still does. And if you don't listen and you're emotionally avoiding the bad stuff, if you're avoiding seeing what's unpleasant, if you don't want to have the difficult conversation, then you're just shooting yourself in the foot, because you're not doing what your soul came here to do. And I keep mentioning the soul because Cancer is so connected to the soul energy and the womb energy, the womb of creation, your womb, all of it. Cancer is the energy, and I'm feeling energy down my spine as I'm saying this. Cancer is the energy that is all encompassing, all expansive, all of creation just coming together and grounding in the body. You cannot be grounded and embodied if you are avoiding the conversations. If you are just thinking that, okay, well, if I do, because there's two ways to do this. There's people that just avoid everything and avoid the difficult stuff and just think that everything is love and light. And then there's people that basically dwell on the bad stuff that happened to them, and they do not get over it because they think that if they get over it, somehow they lose a part of themselves. And yeah, you do lose a part of yourself, but you lose a part of yourself that wasn't really yours to begin with. You lose a part of yourself to an integration and an upgrade. It's not the same thing as losing yourself. So Cancer is this expansive energy that often contradicts itself because it can express in different ways. And it's a beautiful energy because when a Cancer is fully embodied, there is no neediness to their energy. There is no clinginess to their energy. There's just a love and an expansive nurturing that is grounded in the physical world, that knows how to move in the world from a space that still honors the infinite self that they are, while acknowledging that in this moment, this is the physical reality we're working with. These are the tools in the physical world that they're doing their thing with. And that's a beautiful thing for Cancer to do this cycle, and for anyone, whether you're a Cancer or not, to work with this cycle, because we're working on embodiment. We're working on embodying the infinite light of our soul. This is the Cancer energy is about grounding your physical experience into matter, because it is the sign through which all souls incarnate. So if all souls are incarnating through the sign, this means that is an integral part of the energy of this sign, of this lunar cycle. So it's not about avoiding things. Cancer sometimes, myself having being a Cancer, haven't transitioned yet, myself being a Cancer sun at 0 degrees of Cancer, I hold the energy of Cancer, and I used to dislike it so much because I saw myself expressing the dualistic aspect of Cancer, and it took me time to grow into the fullest expression of Cancer. And this is what happens with our natal chart as we go along. We learn how to integrate and heal and embody and activate different codes in our natal chart. And that really allows us to ground the frequencies that we came here to ground, because each one of us has different codes and different frequencies and different energy that we hold, that we're here to share, and that we're here to enhance creation, this earth, with this frequency. I mentioned the arc line, and I mentioned that this lunar cycle has to do with the number 6, which is also the hand of God and Shekinah. And it is about spiritual practice and connecting with Mother Mary. It's very connected to Mother Mary, and also awakening of our healing power. So just with the 24, which is a 6 in numerology, we are seeing that the frequency of this lunar cycle is all about healing. It's all about purity, pure unconditional love, expansion of the heart. It is about embodiment, and it is about cosmic beauty and harmony. It is about just allowing ourselves to expand in our heart and connecting to our mission. Each one of us has a unique mission, a unique purpose, why we incarnated. If not, we wouldn't be human. And this, as I mentioned, this cycle, it's the only time so far this year that I've seen it unaffected by anything else. So it's pure energy of the sun and the moon. The sun is your physical self, your body, your expression in the world. The moon is your inner world. The moon is your emotions. The moon is your intuition. The moon is your soul incarnated in the body. And we have this merging of these two luminaries, marking this new lunar cycle of Cancer, coming into true divine union, unaffected by anything else. They're not affected by a trine. They're not affected by any other planets. They're not affected by a sextile or an opposition. They're unaffected. It's just the pure energy of divine union as we go into this Cancer portal. Cancer, let me share my cards. The sign of Cancer was created by Het, the Aramaic Hebrew frequency Het, and the moon, which governs Cancer, was created by Dove. And Het is a letter that is formed by the Vav and the Zayin. The Zayin is the Aramaic frequency that created Gemini. Vav is the Aramaic frequency that created Taurus. So we have a merging of these two frequencies, the Vav and the Zayin, which gives us the numerology of 13, which is connected to Ahava. Ahava is love in service, love in action. It's a disciplined, action-oriented love. And the numerology of the Het is 8. So different Aramaic Hebrew creation frequencies hold different codes and different patterns. And Het is life force. Het is the breath. Het is number 8. It is connected to the soul. And with that, this is part of the reason why I keep mentioning the soul so much. And this Het is connected to the soul, as I mentioned. And the Hebrew word, the biblical Hebrew word for soul is neshama. And within neshama is the Shem. Shem is vibration, light, frequency, also name. This word, this frequency, Het, what it does is it activates and holds the frequency of the connection to our soul, the vibration, the name that we chose. We all choose our name. We choose our incarnation. We choose our physical vessel. And this is why I honestly do not believe there's no human being that is born in the wrong body. There just isn't. Because your soul chose your physical vessel. And your soul may have also chosen to choose a different expression while in that vessel, but there's nothing wrong with the vessel. You chose it. If you get upset by that, I don't know what to tell you, because it's literally how, when I've connected to the higher realms, there is no duality and there is no masculine and feminine. And I've received that when you are physical, you actually choose a vessel, masculine or feminine, based on the mission that your soul has chosen. Basically based upon the path and the journey that your soul wants to live, they choose the vessel. So there's nothing wrong with you. There's no need to mutilate the body. And I'm going to get off on that. That's it. I'm not mentioning that again. Your soul chose your vessel. Your vessel is sacred. There's nothing wrong with you. And I think that I'm going to say that again. There's nothing wrong with you. I think that in spiritual circles, it's not just think, I feel that we get so caught up on trying to fix, to change, to manifest, to do this, to do that. And all of it implies that there is something inherently wrong with us. We're not satisfied. So there's something wrong. I need to get my nose done. I need to get Botox. I need to, get skinny, get thicker, boob job, butt job, whatever. We are so entrained and living in such a world that tells us there's always something to fix, to do manifest, and somehow we're not doing it right, particularly with women. Somehow we're not doing it right. We're not good enough as mothers, daughters, whatever, friends. We're not good enough. This lineage that I share, the Magdalene Christos, the Magdalene Christ consciousness, it's a lineage that brings us back to our primordial self, our primordial soul, the soul that knows why it incarnated and what it's here to do, and the soul that knows that there's nothing wrong with you. Doesn't matter what you have lived through, how difficult your life has been, how painful, how much suffering. That suffering doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that there's anything missing. And I really feel that it is part of my mission to share that with people. That just because there's healing to be done, just because there's some work that we have to do, some soul contracts we need to complete, doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us. It doesn't mean that there's anything missing from us. We are whole, we are complete, we are sovereign, just as we are. No matter if we haven't finished our soul mission, we haven't completed the stuff that we came here to do, or we've completed it, doesn't matter. What you do does not define you. Let me rephrase that. How you interact with the world is a reflection of our programs, our patterns, our karmas, our limitations. It doesn't define you unless you allow it to define you. You can do all the good in the world, and someone is still going to think you're insincere. You can be the purest soul, and someone's going to think there's something wrong with you. You can be the most vindictive, manipulative, whatever on the planet, and someone's going to think you're amazing. It's that subjective. It's that fluid. So what do? Someone's going to be upset at some point, right? What you do is align with your heart, align with your soul, align with the light of creation that you are, and move from there. Move from the knowing that you are infinite. You are always connected to the divine. And if some people think you're insincere when you're offering a prayer, it is what it is. And if someone loves you, they're going to love you because of the authenticity that you bring forth to the table. They're not going to love you. Well, some people may love you, quote unquote, because of what you do for them or how you make them feel. But that's not the love I'm speaking of. That's not the love that this frequency of Cancer is talking about. Cancer is the frequency that loves you for who you are in here, in your soul, in your heart. When all the doors are closed and nothing is posted on social media, the person that loves you at that point, that's the person who loves you. That's the person who has your back and who's right there with you. And unfortunately, we live in a world where people have been taught that the follower count or the amount of attention you get, that is what is important. But what's important is the purity of your heart. What's important is how you are willing to liberate and let go and shed the layers of ego. All of those identities, all of those false parts of your being, those thought patterns, all of the limitations, all of the karmas, all of that. When you're willing to let that go and just be bare, completely, authentically, unapologetically you, that's the you that your soul came here to be. And it's not a you that is perfect at all times, because we're not here to be perfect. My moon in Virgo is objecting to that, but it is what it is. We're not here to be perfect. We're here to be embodied. We're here to learn how to be in a human vessel that is finite. And that's difficult for Cancer, because Cancer feels the infinity. Cancer knows the infinity. And Cancer doesn't necessarily know what to do with this physical mess. And I honestly believe that a lot of starseeds are like that. A lot of starseeds have that energy of like, oh my God, why did I choose to incarnate in this hellhole that is Earth? What's going on? Why is there so much war? Why is there so much suffering? Why is there so much blah, blah, blah? It's because your soul doesn't know that energy. It's not home. Your home is infinite expansion, is love, is beauty, is harmony, is union. That's what your soul knows. On the human realm, we got to learn how to operate in a very different way. So back to Het, the soul. I mentioned the importance of the name. Just like you chose the vessel, you chose the soul chose the name. And the name was gifted to your parents, even though they may not remember. And the frequency of your name, it shares a lot of information about, just like the frequency in your natal chart. It shares about a lot of the information about what you're here to incarnate, what you're here to embody, what you're here to deliver, what your mission is. It holds all the keys. And it interacts with other people, because our energy field is constantly interacting with other energies. This is why it's important to clear your energy, especially during the cycle, because there's so much energy coming through that it's going to get messy if you don't clear your energy. We learn, we grow, we expand, we embody our soul through the understanding and the integration of the energy that we hold. Each one of us holds different codes and keys. And different ones become awakened at different points in time in our life. And Het teaches us how to exist in this physical reality, in this finite world, in this duality, and then how to transcend it. This energy of Het is connected to the pure light of creation, which is connected to Mother Eve. And Het, as I mentioned, means life. Your life force, your prana, your energy, your frequency. And it is the giving of life, the being of life, the focusing and receiving on embodying the codes of life, the codes of Eve. This is the cycle to do that. It is a letter of grace, of new beginnings. It is about discipleship, which relates to discipline. So how are we being a disciple of ourselves, of our soul, of the divine? How are we using the energy that we hold to embody the light, to hold the light, to share the light? Because we're not just here to receive the light, we're here to share it. Whatever we possess as beings, it's not really ours. Just like the moon, which rules Cancer, reflects the light of the sun. Our soul, our light, isn't really ours. It's not physical. It's always, the majority of it is always in union with the divine, and is always expansive and growing, and who knows how many sparks of our soul actually exist. We may have different sparks in different bodies, different dimensions. Who knows? We don't know, because life and creation is so infinite. The universe, the multiverse, there's different timelines we can choose and align with depending on our frequency. What we are choosing in the moment, that aligns us with certain timelines and closes off certain timelines. So Het and Cancer, this is a time to align with our mission, to align with our purpose, to align with who we came here to be, who our soul came here to be. Soul, not the ego, not the part of you that was raised in the Lower East Side, Queens, not the part of you that was raised, you know, in wherever, I don't know, I can't think of any other places right now. The part of you that was raised in a mansion, you know, the part of you that learned certain ways of coping with the world, that's not the part of you that is in alignment with the soul. That's the part of you that is strictly 3D human and strictly responding and reacting to the world, as opposed to understanding that everything that is happening is a mirror reflection. And how are you going to respond from your higher self, your consciousness, your infinite self? How are you responding from that place? Not just from the place of, oh, this person said something mean to me, so I'm going to be combative and reactive. What does that solve? What does that really do for you? In many cases, nothing. But most of us have been trained that the moment something happens, we react. We don't take a breath. We don't breathe. We don't just take a step back and assess what's going on with ourselves. We just, boom, say something. And then stuff continues to go awry because we never are in stillness. We never are in the moment. We're always on to the next thing. That person hurt me, I have to hurt them back. And that doesn't create any goodness in the world. That is the energy of free will. We're going to talk about free will. And we tend to think free will is just doing whatever we want. And I used to think that. But it's actually whether we are choosing life and creation or whether we are choosing chaos, destruction, and death. And what's interesting is we go through many deaths and rebirths. However, death in the way that I just said it, it's not the death of the soul, because the soul can't die. It's the death of the ego personality. And that is the scariest thing for humans. Because if you are not who you think you are, if you are not your bank account, your educational level, where you grew up, your family, your job, if you are not any of these things, then who are you? And that gets people really triggered, because if I say to someone who's thinking that they're in the wrong body, but you're not in the wrong body, your soul chose this for your evolution, they're going to want to skewer me, because in their mind, in their ego, they're convinced that the divine screwed it up. Somehow the gametes, the ones that were supposed to happen just did not. It didn't go right. But it did. Because you wouldn't be gestated and in human form if it wasn't meant to be the way that it came out. So there's a part of us that needs to return back to the primordial part of our essence, our soul, in order to remember that we are love and we are light. This does not mean that you're not going to have moments where you want to wring someone's neck. It just means that you don't act on it. You don't do something dumb because someone triggered you. You take a breath. You remember that every interaction is a soul contract. Everything that happens is a thread, a mirror, something that is showing you and illuminating something within that your soul came here to do, to embody, to learn, to integrate, to pick your adjective. You're getting my drift. And as such, it's a phenomenal time to work on being you, not expecting a positive or a negative reaction, not investing your energy on the outcome, but rather investing your energy on what you have going within. And many of us have a hard time sitting still. I know, because I used to be like that. We don't know how to sit still. We don't know how to be. Cancer season, Tammuz, is asking us to go within and to sit down and shut the fuck up. Just sit down. This is the time to just go within. Set your intentions, yes. But before you set your intentions, go within. Sit still. Please sit still. Stop trying to do. Allow yourself to be. Allow yourself to be. And in that being, what actually needs to flow through you will come forth. It will just come to you, because you're not trying to be something you are not. You're not trying to align your energy somewhere where it does not belong. You are understanding your frequency and your energy and how your vessel works. I want to go back to discipleship. Disciple is the one who holds the sword of the Holy Spirit, the Shekinah, cutting away all that is fake, not of the light, not of our soul. So all of our karmas, all of our traumas, all of our limitations, all of the patterns that we keep repeating and we keep seeing repeated in our family, all of that. When we learn how to be a disciple of life, of creation, of ourselves, of the divine, we learn how to cut out those parts that aren't us. They are not in alignment. Het is also connected to our intuition and to the deepening and awakening of deeper psychic abilities. And so we're embodying the light of creation, connecting with Mother Eve. We're awakening new gifts, new psychic abilities. We're fine-tuning our intuition. We're allowing ourselves to receive. And then we're getting to the Tav. The Tav is the Aramaic frequency that created the moon. And it is about manifestation. It is also a seal. So what it means is seal. So there is the seal of our different lifetimes in other civilizations, the seal of our different lifetimes as incarnations, and the seal of the divine, Allaha, creator, which is the light, and the seal of our divine mission. So Tav is about completing cycles. It is about endings and beginnings. It is about manifestation. It is connected to Sarah, the matriarch, the first matriarch in the Christ lineage, mother of Isaac, who had Isaac at a very advanced age. And she was thought to be wife of Abraham. She was thought to be the incarnation of Hathor, goddess Hathor, because she never aged. And she was very, very beautiful, is what they say in the scriptures. And she represents and activates the 400 dimensions, because the numerical value of Tav is 400. She represents the activation of the 400 dimensions of pleasure and joy that you access upon completing this human incarnation. So there's a lot about completion, death, cycles, spiritual, particularly spiritual completion and initiation for this cycle. It is a letter connected to Shekinah and the phases of the moon, because the phases of the moon are connected to Shekinah. And it is, of course, because the moon is connected to Saturn, and Saturn represents restriction. It represents karma, as Saturn is the lord of karma. And what's interesting is how the moon and Saturn work together. Saturn gets a really bad rap, particularly in the West, in Western astrology. And I don't like that, because we need Saturn. Frequencies would not exist unless they were beneficial to creation. And Saturn is structure. Saturn is the structure that you need in order to manifest. Saturn is also the structure that you need that's going to keep you from getting your ass whooped. Saturn is very important because Saturn holds the reins of the moon, of your incarnated soul, because the moon represents your soul in the body, until Saturn sees that you're actually doing what you came here to do, that you're actually living your mission. You're choosing to be more in alignment as opposed to in fight or flight. You are choosing to be in creation as opposed to destruction. You are choosing life as opposed to your own demise. You are choosing to improve, to learn, to integrate, to expand, to grow. And as you actively choose deeper layers and levels of consciousness and achieve those, Saturn's grip, it lessens. It goes from being a claw that is like, you're not going anywhere, to being like, okay, you're doing your thing, I'm going to be over here. And as it's over here, Saturn actually blesses you with a lot of abundance and a lot of manifestation, and helps you with your manifestation, helps you ground your manifestation, because you need the structure of Saturn to ground what is unseen into the physical world. So it's a very much misunderstood energy, which I don't I kind of understand why, because then there's that whole anger at the patriarchy, which is structure. So I understand the why behind it. I just think it's gotten old. I still hear people maligning Saturn and talking nonsense, and I'm like, it's 2026, people. Can we just move beyond this? Because it's about integrating the frequencies. It's not about understanding the frequencies and vilifying them and then blaming them for whatever's happening in the world. No, it's about understanding the energy, knowing how to work with it, and then integrating it into your being. And that's how we grow as soul. That's how we grow and expand as soul. And that's what we're here to do. So it's a very powerful letter to work with for manifestation. As I mentioned, it is a seal, and your name is also a seal. And let's see if I missed anything. So the moon is your soul incarnated in the body. Neptune represents the soul in its expansive, infinite state. And Saturn, of course, is the planet of restriction, of karma, of getting you off your ass to do your mission. And it's a beautiful energy of understanding the cycles, understanding endings and completions. And once something is complete, don't try to go back and open the door. Like, it's complete. It's left for a reason. Leave it alone. And that's something that for a Cancer is very difficult. And during this cycle, I think the moon, Mercury is going in retrograde. Don't text your ex. Please don't text your ex. Because if something is over, it's over. And you can pour the most amount of love onto the most undeserving person, and they're still going to say you didn't do enough. Or you can pour it into someone who's deserving, and they're just going to love you and appreciate you. And I think Cancer needs that appreciation. Cancer needs that appreciation for their heart, because no one, well, maybe Leo, but no one really has a heart like Cancer. Cancer they have the biggest hearts, and they're so full of unconditional love and beauty and grace and fortitude, because they are very, very strong individuals. So during this cycle, we have the ability to manifest in a very grounded and concrete way, and in a way that is in deep alignment with our soul. It's a fabulous time. So I'm going to share with you the cards I pulled for this cycle. The mother womb, and you see the water and the abundance of flowers. And this is these cards are actually what inspired the sound activation, as I was feeling into the energy of this moon. And the sound activation is all about returning to the cosmic womb, cleansing and purifying ourselves, and awakening the dragon energy within us. And so let me share the other two cards. This is the Mariams. So you see ancient codes. Mariams are the priestesses of the light. They are the ones that embodied and incarnated the light of the divine, the light of Allah. And they represent purity, that energy of healing, that energy of expanding in your mission is what I'm seeing as well. Ancient wisdom, and then dragon awakening. So dragon awakening, it is the energy that allows us to activate the celestial kundalini and bring it into our heart, unify it with our kundalini energy that we raise up from our own womb, and allowing it to expand in our heart. And it is the embodiment of that celestial cosmic light. And it's a beautiful energy. And this is a little bit different. So I don't usually pull cards, and I don't usually do a video for the podcast. But I figured, I'm like, let's see how this goes. It's interesting because I don't usually like showing my face for this because I think my voice is enough. But I don't know. I just felt called to do this, and we'll see how it goes. And so this cycle, just to close it all up, this cycle we are returning to our primordial selves, to our soul essence, to the cosmic womb, so we can remember who we are, what we came here to do, to embody our mission, to purify what needs to be cleared, and allow us to shed the layers that no longer serve us in order for us to step into the higher octave of our mission, the higher octave of our embodiment, of our expansion, of our soul's integration with the physical realm. And we're going to do this through aligning with the soul. We're going to do this through aligning with the light, through choosing, through understanding that not everything in the physical world is A or B. It's not good or bad. It's not evil or not, or good. Everything is in this physical world is a representation and a mirror of something that is happening within us, something as a collective or as an individual. And we can't just continue to allow ourselves to be triggered by the external world and avoiding certain things simply because, oh, well, I don't like that. That's avoidance, and that's spiritual bypassing. And I'm calling bullshit on all of that. We're not here to not feel the uncomfortable bits of being human. We're not here to cut off certain parts of ourselves or our family because of some nonsense like politics. We're here to understand the root cause of what is happening in ourselves and in the world in order for us to aid and support this ascension process. We cannot ascend if we're stuck in duality, because that's really what we're in. We're in this world of duality without understanding that duality has already served its purpose, and the purpose is to bring us into integration, into oneness. But we're still caught up in living in this dualistic, and it's either A or B, and it's either blue or red or whatever, and it's old. And it's time to move beyond it. And it's time to actually use our discernment and our wisdom. Your intuition is very powerful, and this cycle will activate it. However, if your vessel is not clear, if your vessel is full of your own programs and your own lenses and your own nonsense and stuff from 100 years ago, your ability to interpret that wisdom is not going to be the purest. It's not going to be clear. It's not going to create good. Our intuition, our dreams, the soul's wisdom that wants to flow through us, it's here to support us in elevating and expanding our human experience. It's not here to destroy. It's not here to create chaos. So listen to your body. If you need to do a purification, do a purification. Be very mindful of your energy field, because the light is going to be coming in super strong this cycle. And if your body vessel cannot hold it, there's going to be chaos. So your nutrition is important. Your water intake is important. Your ability to ground is important. Your ability to clear your energy is important. Your ability to connect with people on a real level, your ability to show up authentically for yourself and for other people, your ability to call bullshit where it needs to be called, all of that is important this cycle, because we're entering something new and we have pure light coming in this cycle. What are we going to do with it? Are we going to add to creation? Are we going to expand in creation? Are we going to expand in love? Or are we going to continue to play around in this dualistic mess and just create more chaos? That's the choice. That's the free will. It's either we're choosing light, creation, life, or we're choosing destruction and chaos and division and separation. It's up to all of us. And it's up to all of us to take accountability for where we are, not from a place of guilt or shame or blame or to make ourselves wrong or feel bad, but we can only do better if we take responsibility for what we have done. And with that, I don't know how long this has been. I am sending you lots of love. I'm wishing you a beautiful new lunar cycle of Cancer-Tammuz, a wonderful new moon. And if you enjoy this, like, share, subscribe. Let me know if you actually like this new format, or if you don't, you prefer the old ones where I just share my voice, which I'm perfectly happy to hear that, because I don't quite know. I like to look at myself, which is very interesting, because I just don't like to, even when I was acting, I never liked watching myself on screen. It's terrible. But yeah, so you can follow me on social media at Aurea and at Embodying the Shekinah. You can follow me on YouTube for longer format videos at Aurea. If you would like to work with me, get a Kabbalistic natal chart reading, that is linked below, as well as energy healing sessions one-on-one. And if you feel called to work with the Pleiadean energies, I share a beautiful online retreat it's a self-paced that I did, and I shared transmissions while I was in Cyprus. So if you feel called to do that, that is also linked below. Have a blessed, blessed full moon. Ahava. See you in the next episodes.